So David, tell me a little bit about your agency, your background, and what people should know about you if they're looking to get into Vietnam now that it's opened as of March 15th.
So my name is David Tran. I work in visa industry for 5 years and mostly dealing with visa and law firm accountant for foreigners in Vietnam. So two days ago, Vietnam decided to open the border and resume all the visa policy from pre-COVID, which means you can apply for tourist visa at the moment. And it's actually very great because after 2 years, Vietnam open again and welcome foreigners again. The one who stuck in Vietnam before now can exit and enter again with a valid visa, which means very great. A lot of people in Vietnam already overstay for 2-3 months because the immigration department stopped their visa extension of them. So right now, this is really a good news at the moment.
So let me just explain to people that may be new to this sort of thing and are learning about visas. An overstay, that's a really important word with visas, because that means for whatever reason you have going on or the government has going on or your situation, that means your visa's expired, you're still in the country. Doesn't matter what country you're in, that's going to be trouble. That's going to be costly. Presently, there is no quarantine requirement on arrival in Vietnam. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's it, correct.
Right. So that's a huge thing to know. There is no self-quarantine. There's no mandated government quarantine at a government facility. All of that is passed. What do I need to do to get that visa?
So right now, there's 13 countries had visa exemption for 15 days, no matter what purpose you want to enter Vietnam. I will list these countries in my fan page at Vietnam, David Tran Visa Agency. And the other things, the second thing is like e-visa. E-visa is the tourist visa, which the government provide for you 30 days to enter Vietnam. And after that 30 days, you cannot extend it. You have to exit Vietnam. So you either can wait for a little bit more, so the travel company can invite you in with 3 month tourist visa, or right now you can apply for the e-visa for 30-day tourist visa to come to Vietnam.
Okay, so you mentioned those countries, and we'll put them in the description of this video. And so right now, if I want a tourist visa, I can come. I can only stay 30 days as the situation exists today, March 17th. Things can change. Then you'll have to exit the country. Presumably, if you wanted to exit to a neighboring country like Cambodia or Thailand and return, you could do that. Let's talk about e-visa for a moment. I'll explain how I understand an e-visa, and David, you can add to that or correct me as may need be. In my previous trips to Vietnam, I would search on the web for Vietnam government approved visa agencies, and it was an e-visa because you did it all through the internet. You sent them a picture, you filled out your forms, you submitted a fee through your credit card, and a few days later, you got a copy of a letter that had your name on it, and that allowed you to enter the country. Pay your fee, and there's usually a fee when you arrive. So let me say something about that. Show up with US dollars or euros when you're going to pay your fee. It's hard to get Vietnamese dong when you're not in Vietnam, and they like dollars and euros. And if you don't have the proper change when you show up, it's a bit of a mess. I did it once, and they were mad, and I had to get marched over to the ATM and get money. And so whatever the fee is currently, have it in hard currency, exact change. It'll go a lot smoother. So you got an e-visa because it was through the internet, and that exists now. And that, David, you said there's private companies still doing that now. Your company is going to be doing that. And then there's also a direct government website up and running now, right?
Yes, that is correct. But now, mostly I highly suggesting with young people or people who know technology, they can very easily come into the government website and fill out the information and then get the e-visa like 3 days later. And it's not worth it to wasting money to give for agent so they can make the thing that you were able to make it by yourself. And that's going to be a problem with older people who don't know how to interact with internet, and they're willing to pay for somebody to fill up the form and get a paperwork for them. And when they get the visa letter and when they arrive at the airport, please prepare $25. That's going to be the cost for visa on arrival for them.
Right. So I've looked at the government website. You can tell it's a government website because it's not super pretty. It's not the simplest thing, but you can get right through it. And also, when I talked about those expat groups, so I've seen already now some people that got in there the instant the government site opened. Some people have already got visas issued. You pay a little bit more to go to an agent website. David mentioned one, your ability with technology. Two, if you feel nervous about the whole process and you want to be able to pick up the phone and talk to somebody, you're going to be able to do that with a private agent, calling Vietnamese Department of Immigration, unless you speak Vietnamese. And even if you do, it's probably not going to go, it's not going to be a great experience. So those are the two. So now, so when I apply for my e-visa, there's going to be some requirements, right? I got to have 6 months on the passport. A good rule of thumb when you're traveling, do not try to get into another country without a minimum of 6 months validity on your passport. Do I need health insurance?
At the moment, you won't need health insurance to come in.
Okay.
And other thing you need will be just the passport, the A-visa that you print out, and the COVID test that's still valid within 72 hours when you land in Vietnam.
Okay, so that's important to note. It has to be 72 hours within landing. Some countries, it's 72 hours prior to departure or 48 hours. So that means you need to be attentive. Now, do you need to show proof of vaccine?
At the official information from the health department a few days ago, right now, you don't have to show the vaccine certificate when you enter.
Okay, and again, that's something you got to understand that in Vietnam, from my experiences there, and David, again, correct me if I'm wrong, you had different factions and different groups in the government. Some saying we got to open tourism now, we need the economic revenue. And you have other factions saying, no way, there's COVID. Those foreigners are going to bring us COVID. So there was fighting over it. So sometimes things are supposed to be announced, it's delayed. The other thing you have to be aware of is, this would be a typical one to me, is like, today, you don't have to have a vaccine card. That's one to double check. Don't be surprised that if they've just decided to reopen, they haven't figured out how they're going to format the vaccine card requirement. Don't be surprised if in a week or say in a month, when some tourists show up unvaccinated and get COVID, that doesn't change. I would just be aware of that one.
Yes, at the moment we are speaking, the health department don't require the vaccine paper when you enter, but you better prepare it because maybe they're gonna check it later.
Right. It would be a shame to buy your plane ticket and gee, where's your vaccine card when you try to board? Oh, you didn't know? Now Vietnam wants one of those. You're not boarding. Not good. Hey, well, I hope you liked this video and that you found it informative. So do me a favor, hey, like, share, and subscribe, and then there'll be more. Thanks all. Bye.